Hello and welcome back to Our Shared Lie. Now, originally I wasn't gonna bother with this visual novel again. Um, Mostly because I kind of felt like it really needed some work with writing and proofreading, and I kind of did not like the characters at all, especially the lion. I also did not like the main character because of how they behave. But I think I was just chalking that up to. Oh, no. I think that would be chalked up to me expecting it to be like every other native English written visual novel, where everything is already written the way it's supposed to be, and things do not get lost in translation. So that was a bias on my part, I guess. But you do have to admit it did have some issues. Since the last time that I read it, well, at least the first build, it has been rewritten a little. I do believe certain scenes were rewritten, and one of those scenes involves the lion, but not the lion, the tiger. But it basically goes about the same way, and most of the dialogue or how I feel about the main character and the lion still stands. I do not trust the lion. I feel that he assumes too much. He's a little too pushy, if I'm being honest. And that might just be coming from a person that does not like that type of person. The way that the lion is, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be your friend. Oh no, don't worry. Your feelings don't matter. What I'm saying is what's actually going on. That's how the lion kind of comes off to me, where he's a little too... he assumes too much, basically. The main character also a little weird. I mean, they're a bit more, they're written a little bit differently now, but he still comes off as a little annoying to me. I don't know. I'm hoping that this updated build, or at least what comes next, because I'm not gonna reread it again, because no thank you. But I'm hoping what comes next sort of changes my mind. But if not, then I don't know if I will bother continue reading it, so, just a heads up. So, depending on how I sound when I finish this, whether it's 2 parts or 1 part, that should tell you whether or not you're gonna ever see this again on the channel. Okay? Just a heads up. I do know that a polar bear, I think, shows up in the next part, so, there's that to look forward to. But anyways, so I guess without further ado, let us continue our shared lie. Yellow trees are beginning to form part of the nearby landscape and are becoming more and more common to our eyes. Trees in different shades of green are also being added to the background of our vision. AL933 has been silent the entire walk. He must be giving me some space after that little inconvenience. I'm such a mess. When did I think that it was a great idea to threaten Tiger with a sword? Twice, or was it 3 times? No matter now. Thanks to that, 145 hates me, and I honestly don't blame him. I certainly would hate anyone who tried to cut my neck with a sword. I ignored that he was just as worried as we are and focused on what I cared about instead of seeing the bigger picture. And the best that I could think of was to mock and dismiss the whole thing, even when I was wrong. Perhaps if I'd remained silent, things would be different. Maybe he was pretending, but I choose to believe that, at least for a moment, there was a genuine conversation between us. When we started talking, everything was fine, but as soon as the topic about the truth of this place came up... Why a game? How the sky did he conclude that we are in a game? What is he hiding, and more importantly, why? If we're playing a game, It's clearly more than just that, probably a trap designed to ensnare us and keep us trapped for whatever twisted reason. I can't believe I'm considering this insanity. Skies. I'm actually considering it. Assuming that he is right, that would mean that we're being monitored in some way, right? But how? How could? I remember the surveillance cameras on the cliff. They were broken, but who says there aren't more cameras in this place? No. It's merely a coincidence. He doesn't have any evidence to support his claim, as he well acknowledged. No one is watching us. I know that. AL-933 said it. But now I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched, that every move we make is being monitored by some unseen force. I know well we have to get out of this place and fast, but I can't help but feel that we're just running straight into the jaws of a predator, one that has been waiting patiently for us to make our move. A mix of fear and curiosity gnaws at me, urging me to dig deeper into the mystery of this place as my instincts warn me to be careful. I have no choice but to remain vigilant and observe the unfolding of events, both between me and Arancione, and this game, if it really exists. It's like the line said, you just have to give it some time. As I walk along the road, the sound of rushing water catches my attention. I can't help but feel a full sense of curiosity, my body going into a searching state by instinct. My nose starts twitching by itself, each breath more audible than the last, but it's doing its job, translating the various scents in the environment into sensations. It's like a whole new world is opening up to me, and it's both overwhelms and scares me. As I continue walking, the abundance of smells around me make me stop in my tracks. Unlike the meadow where only a few smells dominate, here it's the complete opposite. It's almost as if there are too many smells to take in at once, making me pause to process it all. AL-933 stops as well. The feline's nose vibrates too, capturing the jumbled mixture of scents that fill the new surroundings. Following his thorough sniffing, the silence is interrupted. Everything in order? My nose is just absorbing all the air on the planet right now. It will only take a few seconds. Please wait a bit. Haha, you smelled it too, right? The scent of the forest? It's unexpected. It almost makes me want to grab a bunch of leaves and throw myself on top of them. Yes, it is. There is a lot to process, though. I'm not used to this. I guess it must be difficult for you. Your nose is much more powerful, and with that wound on your snout, your sense of smell must be kind of messed up. There's so many aromas. I didn't think that there would be enough to overwhelm me. It's weird to explain. It's like I think many things at once, and I try to organize everything at the same time. Take your time. Once your nose processes the most important smells, it will surely pass. Okay? I'm sorry for being so weak. Don't apologize. We all have our own weaknesses. It's okay to take the time you need to adjust. We're here to support each other, and it's not your fault. It's not like you did the injury on purpose. Maybe I did. There's no way of knowing after all. The lion shows a bitter smile but doesn't pry further. It's really good that there's a forest here. We'd be in trouble if this whole place was like that dry grass plain. At least in this forest, we should find some edible. Speaking of which, it seems that we're near a river. I've been hearing it for a while now. Could you hear it? I barely hear the breeze moving through the leaves. Wolf ears, more powerful and nosy. Alright, hehe. Those ears of yours seem to be very clever. If there is a river, that would explain why there's so much vegetation. There's a whole ecosystem here. I wonder if the others have investigated this area. Should we try to find the river? You mean like, get out of the road? Perhaps. With your supernatural hearing, we could locate it. I'm not sure. It could be dangerous. I think it's better to stay on it for now. Maybe after exploring whatever it is at the end of this road, we can take more risks. AL-933 is somewhat disappointed for not being able to embark directly on the adventure. However, he gives me a candid look and nods in understanding. Aw, I thought that was a good idea. Oh well, you're right. We should get acquainted with the place that the rest have seen before we investigate any other areas. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah, it's best not to risk exploring that deep yet. By the way, are you feeling better? Your nose has stopped twitching? Oh, now that you mention it, I'm fine. I'm actually fine. I think my nose already put things in their place. Here, let me show you. I inhale a good gulp of air through my nose to make my point. Now most of the scents are clear and I can identify some if I put my mind to it. Among the aromas, I can smell paracord, the characteristic smell of wet earth, and the scent feels stronger towards the direction the path is following. And we're on a lucky day. My nose tells me that if we follow the road, we'll eventually find the river. We can continue without any problems right now. Great! I love the attitude. That's the whole vibes we need to get ahead. Keep it up, mate. Supernatural hearing and supernatural smell are both amazing. Huh, thanks. We should probably continue. You're the boss! We start to walk down the cobblestone path once more. As we go, I begin to lift my snout, nostrils flared, searching for the scent of paracord in the air. I have to admit that I'm a bit proud of myself for being able to master my sense of smell in such a short amount of time. Wow, I'm truly desperate to have some kind of control over anything. I better focus my mind on something else. I guess, despite the particular circumstances we find ourselves in, I can't deny that the view is breathtaking. Yeah, it's a nice view. I permit myself to revel in the moment, savoring how much it feels like a stroll through a beautiful garden. For once, I don't feel weighed down by the intricate technology embedded in my arm or the loss of our shared past. It's simply two friends sharing a pleasant walk. Can you see that? 827? But of course, the pleasant feeling barely stays with me for more than a minute before being replaced by concern. Look at that! Suddenly, AL933 makes another great athlete's jump, one higher than the one he did on the cliff. He shouldn't be able to do that with his size. The lion cocks his head, his eyes full of amazement. Okay, I understand that you have a lot of strength in your legs, but please stop doing that. You may hurt yourself. Sorry, it's something that I do when I get excited. That's the best way for people to understand how intense my emotions are. It's a habit. It's fine. Just be careful. Anyway, what did you see? A lake! A lake? That may be what I smelled before. The wet earth? Now it all makes sense. Yes, I could see it clearly when I jumped. That's even better than a river. Come on, let's keep walking. It's a few meters down the road. AL933 makes a gesture with his paw, inviting me to follow him. I appreciate he doesn't suggest running again. We both set off. If there is a lake here, that would solve most of our problems. It means water, and oh, I hope that I can take a bath. Do you like swimming? I guess I do, but I just feel like I need to clean up myself. My fur is, messy. Not to mention greasy and dirty. And what about you? Do you like to swim? Although I am a feline, I like to get my body wet from time to time. Getting wet feels nice. I agree, but I am not an excellent swimmer, or at least that's what I remember. Perhaps you are. You must have a lot of hidden talents, just as you recall the names of that places before. In the distance, a glimmering body of water timidly melts with the forest. The line and my nose were right. I'm sure that you're also a good swimmer. That strength in your legs must come from somewhere. If that's the case, then I'm a high-caliber swimmer. Would you like to get wet with me? Huh, sure, as long as there's a towel to dry off with. It doesn't take any memory to know that this fur will stink if I don't dry it properly. Then I'll take care of it. I'll think of something so that you don't have to smell like wet wolf. Wet lions don't smell very nice either. Hey, I'm not like the other lions, mate. That, my partner, is obvious. Look, we're almost there. The trees continue to thin out, allowing the light from the star to once again bathe our bodies completely. The sound of rushing water grows louder as we approach. I feel a sense of relief and excitement at only the thought of having access to fresh water. We press on until the road abruptly ends in a patch of sand, but we don't hesitate for long to continue further. Lake. An icy breeze sweeps through, causing my fur to ruffle and the moisture-laden wind to seep under my clothes. The sand between my toes provides a strange sensation, a mixture of discomfort and relaxation. Finally, we arrive at the shore of the lake, where we can observe the body of water in full detail. I can see a few small fish swimming. It's a reassuring sight knowing that there's life in this strange place. As I sink my feet into the wet sand, I gaze up at the clear sky, unobstructed by clouds. The water, though crystal clear, reflects a strong blue hue. The trees that surround us leave an enigmatic pinkish color, complementing the usual yellow ones. However, the discovery that most shocks me is realizing that in some parts of the lake there are a lot of small pieces of ice, as if they were icebergs in the Acromos Sea. I rub my eyes to make sure that I am seeing correctly and that it isn't another bad trick my mind has created. How come? I look at AL933 wondering if he can also see the ice chunks floating on the lake. His face is conflicted. I can see a lot of thought going through his head right now. You can see them too, right? Those... Yes, I was about to ask you. This place has a very strange weather. Too rare for my liking. You can repeat that, but I thought that there must be an explanation. Suddenly my senses are jolted by a new scent that throws my nose out of line. Big Guy, is it me or does it smell like a mix of metal and something sweet? The lion cocks his head in confusion, but he says nothing, remaining silent as he stares into the ice in the lake. I am not an expert on this, but this shouldn't be physically possible, unless there is a source of glacial water and large chunks of ice have fallen through it. So my river hypothesis still stands? Probably, but in any case, if the river connects with the glacier, the river would have to be very long. The ice would have already melted by the time it reached the lake. Then why hasn't it done it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You're not going to be able to find the answer on your own line. I know, I don't have enough data to be able to give a coherent explanation to this. I understand what you're saying, mate. I'm just trying to solve this puzzle. But you're right that there will be a time for that later. I guess the lake must be frozen. Do you still want to try to get in? Maybe the water isn't that cold. 933? That wasn't me. What? I didn't say anything. But if it wasn't you, then... Over here. My ears perk up as I turn sharply in the direction of the voice. I quickly conclude that the sound comes from a lone tree on the edge of the lake, almost being washed by the crystal clear water of the lake. The wood and the leaves of the tree are encased in chunks of ice. A large figure materializes by resting its paw on the trunk of the tree. Instinctively, I arch my body. I'm not sure to what end. To attack? To flee? A huge bear steps out of the shadows in front of us, leaving us to view his body. The bear is big, tall, and thick as an oak with muscles on muscles. I don't think that I've ever seen anyone that big in my life before, that I can recall. His fur is pristine white, his face is rough and surly, and that is the only place his fur shows color, featuring a grayish tint to his jaw, beige to his eyebrows, and brushstrokes of pink and ivory on his snout. The bear's outfit are just as enigmatic as his persona, wearing a hoodie with torn sleeves over what looks like a warm sweater, and gloves as black as the night sky. I take a step back. AL933 follows my lead, doing the same. The bear stops when he sees us, his face tightens, looking pained as if our actions have insulted him. 933, I strongly need you to answer me right now. Is he another one of our cliff partners? I think so, but I don't remember. You what? I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter right now. Answer, was he there when you woke up? Yes, he was, but I barely spoke to him. You do know that I can hear you talking about me, right? His voice sounds dry and hoarse, almost as if he finds it difficult or uncomfortable to speak. The bear takes another couple of steps. As he approaches, a sensation of warmth engulfs my body. My fur fluffs up as if I've been hit by a blast of hot steam from a geyser. Is this a new way my body suffers from fear? Stay where you are. Don't take another step further. The bear stops walking at the same time that he fixes his gaze on me. I swallow hard, forcing myself not to look down, keeping my covered in gauze snout as high as I can. The bear stands tall. Slowly, he sniffs the air and lets out a low growl. His eyes never leave me. I wonder if he's deciding whether or not to attack, as I brace myself for the worst. You're the other wolf. I thought that you'd never wake up. The white-furred man corrects his gaze, squinting in the direction of AL-933, and flashes a subtle smile. Seeing someone so big and strong smile like that terrifies me. And you, 933, you made it. Not only did you keep your promise, but it also appears that you've already explored a bunch of this place on your own. How do you know us? Were you on the cliff with the others? Let's calm down, alright. I am not a threat. I'd say that I'm the opposite. The truth be told. The bear lifts his arm in the air, revealing his right paw adorned with a black glove, embellished with a pink flame design. A bracelet fastened onto his skin can be seen on the part of the glove fastened with his fingers, featuring a miniature screen identical to ours. My name, or code, is OR476, or just 476. I know I'm big, but there's nothing to fear. I am one of you. I don't plan to fight, now or ever. My back relaxes. Thank you, Lucinen. I'm not going to die today. 476! 476, it's you! I'm really sorry. I can't believe that I forgot your name. What kind of person does that? I must have seemed so rude and thoughtless. I'm such a bad partner, always makes mistakes like this. How could I have been so careless? This is just another example of how I can't seem to get anything right. I'm a terrible cliff partner. I know it's selfish to say this, but I hope that you can forgive this horrible and anti-caring behavior of mine. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me for this forgivable mistake and... For Sky's sake, please stop. Do not blame yourself. You have done nothing wrong. But your face was, and I... Don't be so hard on yourself, big guy. Remembering all of these codes is hard. It's not the end of the world just because you forgot. It's okay, 933. As you said, we barely spoke. And as our friend said here, all of this code stuff is kind of hard to remember. Truth be told, you and the goat have been the kindest to me here. To not say the only ones, and I quite appreciate it. Oh? Are you serious? In that case, thanks? I think he tried to mean you're welcome. Heh. Thank you, and you're welcome, my lion friend. And just like that, AL-933's expression abandons all traces of concern. The bear takes another step forward, finally getting within a range where we can safely talk. Despite his kind words, his presence sends a warning signal to my body to maintain a safe distance. His towering stature is even more imposing when standing face to face. I anticipate that AL-933 might offer him a hug, much like he did to PT-145, but it appears that he doesn't trust him enough at this point for that. Which makes sense. I guess the two of them have barely spoken to each other since they met. Well, here we are. How's your wound, Wolfie? Wolfie? Now I do feel insulted. Wait, why? Why do I feel suddenly insulted? I'm LC827, thanks. For asking. I'm fine. The best you can be in this type of situation. What this guy is wrong with me? Control yourself, 827. Try to be nice. You don't want this to end up the same as with 145. I'm as good as it gets. I'm honestly still recovering. I'm not in the best shape right now. With everything that's going on here, no wonder why. I'm still trying to recover after spending who knows how long sleeping on gravel. My back is killing me. You're right about that. You must be worse off than us having such a big back. That's what I try to say. Although on top of that, when I woke up I noticed a terrible pain in my throat, and every time I tried to swallow I felt a painful irritation. That's the main reason why I barely spoke before when I was with you, 933. Hey, no need to apologize or explain. I assumed that you needed your space. We all did. Partly, I needed it, yes. I have gathered that I am quite better at dealing with these kinds of things alone. It helps me process the situation. Wait a minute, did you wake up with a sore throat? I thought I was the only one hurt. Compared to you, I have no right to say that I'm hurt, the truth be told. But sounds quite serious, even if I'm worse than you. I can't help but notice that your voice sounds a bit strained. Are you feeling alright? Are you sure that you can talk? You don't sound very good. It took some time for me to adjust to the sensation of speaking again, but eventually I managed to form a coherent sentence. The pain has barely subsided, but I'm getting better. I drank some cold water from the lake and it helped a lot. It's okay, really. I can talk as long as I don't yell. Besides, I want to talk. It's boring that everyone ignores you when you don't want to. If you're sure, but if it hurts too much, just tell us so that we can ask yes or no questions, so you can answer just by shaking your head. If you're okay with that, of course. That's a great idea, 827. It's creative, cheap, and efficient. We need to write it down. Who's got a pen and paper? I don't know what's so important about the fact that the idea is cheap, but I'm not refusing the compliment. It's a weird compliment. Thanks, big guy. Though I don't think that we need to write anything down. I'll think about it. So, LC827, right? I'll try to remember. It's a pleasure to meet you. I hope that we get along. The bear firmly extends his paw in my direction with a smile. I correspond to his gesture without hesitation, and put my paws against his, hook it, and then starting to move it up and down, making the classic paw shake greeting. So far so good. Smooth sailing, as someone could say. Somewhere on this continent. Does Arumbris have sea? Likewise. I let him finish the salute, my fingers brushing the material of his glove as I withdraw my paw. It feels cold and rough. That's weird. Gloves are supposed to be warm and soft, not the other way around. Which reminds me. This may come as a surprise, but do you happen to know the reason behind this place's current state? The freezing temperature and the ice chunks in the lake, I mean? I don't think he knows, 827. I disagree. I recall, well, he said, you're not going to find the answer on your own. What did you mean by that? I'm assuming that if you said that, that's because you know something important that we don't? Seems like you don't forget anything, Wolfie. Don't call me Wolfie, and I guess you may be right. It seems that I have the ability, though most of the time it's more like a curse. Well, an answer is certainly in order, but I must admit, it's somewhat complicated. I'm hesitant to reveal it, and as I fear you may not believe me. Oh, a mystery cause? Is it something crazier than waking up at a bottomless cliff's edge with amnesia? Yes. Even more, I'd say, almost like it's a bad joke. Well, now I'm truly more intrigued than before. You're not doing a good job of trying to keep me from wanting to know the truth. You really want to hear it, Alright, I'll tell you. Just keep an open mind, okay? I can do it, but before we do anything, let's start with some questions, shall we? Firstly, what were you doing here all alone? How much time have you spent here, and why aren't you with the rest of the group? You don't have to interrogate him like that, mate. The bear shakes his head. It's okay. These are just questions and it makes a lot of sense for you to ask. There's no need to feel concerned about asking them. If you say so, you can continue, but please tell us if something bothers you. No problem, I will. Well, where do I begin? The story so far is quite simple. I came here to try to freshen up after exploring the rest of the zones of this place with the others. After that, I leaned against a tree over there to rest my feet, but when I did, an overwhelming wave of fatigue came crashing down over me, leaving me, I think you mean unconscious. And by the time I woke up, everything was like this. 476 extends his paw and emphasizes the surrounding ice chunks in the environment. Wait, so you're telling me that the lake wasn't frozen when you got here? Yes, it was a normal lake, as normal as can be found in this place at least. It's improbable for the lake to freeze at such a rapid rate, considering the present environmental conditions. It doesn't make sense to freeze so quickly. Especially if we take into account that your nap could not have exceeded 3 hours. Where do you get that hypothesis from? The number of hours that we've been awake, the distance between the cliff and this place, and the freezing point of water, and some quick math. Oh right, I forgot that we calculated the amount of time that has elapsed since you got up. It seems I was wrong to say that you don't forget anything. Hey, I'm sorry for disappointing you, but I am not a machine. We woke up around the 9th hour. We had agreed before that 5 hours had passed since we woke up at the cliff. And it's been around an hour since we did that. So it's likely that 6 hours have already passed since you all woke up? Has it been 6 hours already? I did not think that it had been that long. Considering the time and the ambient temperature. No, there's no real way that the lake would have frozen, even if the freezing process started as soon as we woke up 6 hours ago, which is not the case, so the time range is even shorter. It's not physically possible. I told you it seems like a bad joke. I thought about it a lot in my head, but nothing makes sense. So there appears to be a highly probable presence of an extreme influence that remains beyond our current understanding. My head hurts. Are you okay? I think it's the first time that I see you upset about anything. I'm not upset, I'm just frustrated. This is supposed to be my thing. I know, I'm not the one to say this, but try to calm down, big guy. As you said, we don't have enough data to be able to give a coherent explanation to this. There will be a time for that later. It doesn't stop it from being frustrating. In circumstances like these, I believe it's best to think about something else. Well, there's something that we can do. What if you continue with your story, 476? There is little to say. Like I mentioned earlier, when I regained consciousness, the lake had changed beyond recognition. I was very confused, but I was also super thirsty. That's when I went to these rocks near the lake. I splashed my face with cold water and drank some. Once I felt fresh enough, I went to rest against a sturdy tree that I found earlier. As for how long I stayed in that spot, I couldn't say for certain. To me, it felt like only a brief interlude before you came here. But who knows how much time had truly passed. Are you sure that there was no one else with you? Or did you see something strange after waking up? OR-476 rests his paw on his chest, pondering the question. Doubt flickers in his black eyes, but he ends up shaking his head. I see. And before that? Like I said, after exploring the warehouse, I came straight here. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't even think of a direction when I was already walking aimlessly on one of the roads. I just came across this place while exploring. Being alone helped me calm down. I'm glad that at least one of us is calm with everything that's going on. Sorry, 476, did you say warehouse? Wait, what did he say? The warehouse? Haven't you already gone? I thought you came from the north. We all took the road that was headed in that direction. We took the west road. That would explain why you haven't seen it. Hold on, wait a second. There's a warehouse here? Are there modern structures made by people in this place? Yes, there is a massive warehouse located to the north. Well, the north of this lake. And this warehouse has food? In industrial quantities, Wolfie. So, we don't really have a problem with food? You could say that. It's a true treasure trove. I'm talking about everything that you could possibly need. And when I say everything, I mean everything. We're talking about tools, flashlights, food cans, camping tents, machine parts, construction equipment, you name it. It's all there waiting to be discovered. What? Is there really a building like that around here? The bear nods, the lion smiles. This is so exciting! I can't wait to go and check it out. This changes everything. We don't have to worry about food, which is incredible. However, it also means that a building like that in this place is significant. This is so great. It'll be a big help while we're here. Why aren't you there, 476? I'll just say, the Fox and I had a disagreement. The Fox? The Fox. I'm sorry, can you clarify what you mean by the Fox? I think he must be talking about V061. My brain grips me with the force of a divine revelation, reminding me that V061 is the one who had the magnificent idea to end my suffering in an act of mercy. Right. I'm starting to get some ideas about what kind of person this 061 guy is. 061 is an idiot. I can attest to that. Does the Fox bother you that much? I prefer not to discuss it. That's not because of my throat ache, though. That's a clear sign that we should not pursue the matter. We understand. I don't really want to comment on that guy either. That would be for the best, yes. Let's get back to the warehouse topic, okay? Do you know how we can get there? I do. Let me show you. OR476 points to the forest, then to a mixture of trees painted with warm hues of autumn that hide a road, almost identical to the one that we came from. If it isn't for the bear showing us the way, we might completely overlook the cobblestone pathway. If you follow that path over there, you can easily reach the warehouse. It's not too far from here. We'll take that into account. Thank you, partner. Yeah, thanks. It's crucial to figure out our next move. To be honest, right now, my thoughts are solely focused on this warehouse. How big was this place again? I don't know what to use as a reference, but it's quite big. We were all together until we got there. At that time, we were still a group exploring the place. I did a cursory check, but I'm pretty sure that there's almost anything that you could need there. The goat, 119, suggested that we try to look for clues to determine our location, so we decided to split up. It was faster to search several places at once. Again, speaking of 119, as if his words hold great value, he seems to have established a position of authority among them. I cannot but feel bothered by this. It makes me feel a little envious. Why is that? We're supposed to meet at the warehouse when the star goes down, so everyone can share what they discovered. Well, that was the original plan, but as you can see, I haven't found anything useful around here. Just how some of the roads connect to different parts of this place, but little else that others don't already know. So you haven't discovered anything new? Well, that's to be expected. I guess if we want to collect new information, we'll have to think of another strategy. It seems that will be so. Truth be told, we have only walked on the roads and observed what there is. So surely when we look deeper, we'll find something else. At least I hope so. You know what they say, nothing is over until you say it's over. I really appreciate your positive attitude, 476. It's a great mindset to have, and it's important to keep spreading good vibes. Shut the fuck up, dude. Keep it up. Good vibes have to flow. Oh, come on, Lion. I didn't say anything out of this world. I'm just saying a compliment, because I like you. Huh. Now, are you trying to make me blush? Can we go back to talking about the important things? There's still a lot that we don't know about this place. The bear looks at me, but his gaze drifts to the lake. His face turns blue. After a few seconds, it lights up again, giving a slight movement of his neck. The bear nods as if he's agreeing to something. You're right, there's still a lot that we don't know. We don't even know how we got here. 827, I need to ask you some questions, just as you did. If that's okay with you, of course. Hey, I think it's more than fair after my interrogation. What's on your mind? Spill it out. You said that you took the road that goes to the west, right? Whom have you seen before you got here? You're the second person that I've seen since we started walking. Isn't that right, big guy? Yep, we only saw Arancioni in the big arena field with a bunch of weapons. To whom? And where? 145. On the giant structure on the meadow that looks like a colosseum. The one on the far side where the roads connect. That. Well said, mate. I know which one you're referring to. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to check it out. Makes sense. I remember the tiger mentioning that they had overlooked that place when they first passed. So you saw 145? You don't sound very happy to hear his name. Truth be told, the tiger and I didn't start on the right foot. Yeah. We're not on very good terms either. Don't take it the wrong way. You're not the only one who's had problems with him. It's only been a few hours and he's already had arguments with 3 of us. By the way, how did he name you? I imagine you already know about the color names. I didn't remember that he nicknamed himself Arancioni until you said it though. I learned it the hard way, yes. He named me Bianco. It's not like I could decide on my own what I'd like to be called. It's better than OR476, that's for sure, but it's still a temporary thing he chose, not my real name. Is that why you fought? You didn't want him to name you without consulting you? I wish that had been the reason. Well, he named me Argento because my fur is silver, I can see it. I think you can also figure out why he calls me Bianco. But truth be told, Argento sounds cooler. Heh, it's simpler than LC827, but as you say, it still feels weird. It's normal. You're just getting used to your name, to suddenly have another one. Better have 2 names than none, I guess. That's a good way to look on the bright side, Wolfie. I have another question. About that place where you say that you found 145? 933? Oh, of course. Ask without a filter. That's what we're here for. Thanks. 933, you said that the place was packed with a bunch of weapons, don't you? Correct me if I'm wrong. And here we go with the issue of the weapons. I just pray that this doesn't end up the same way that it did with Arancione. You're right. There were dozens of holders carrying weapons of various types and sizes. The sheer variety was quite overwhelming. If that's the case, do you think that there's shields there? I believe that there were a few in the holders on the back. Why? I'm thinking. No. It's nothing important, just curiosity. I have no more questions at the moment. When necessary, I will let you know if I require you to answer my questions. Thank you. Wait, that's all? That's all. For now. I thought you... Are you not worried about the weapons? Well, it's not like I can do anything to change that right now, so I'm not letting worry rule me. But of course I'm worried. Adding weapons to the mix of this situation will end with a lethal result. Who knows what kind of recipe we're cooking with these ingredients? Sorry, I shouldn't be making food analogies. This is a serious topic. Huh, I think you're just hungry. Speaking of it, by any chance did you happen to notice whether there were any fish in the lake when you got closer? Why are you asking that all of a sudden? I saw a few fair-sized ones near the shore by the tree area. They have good color. Oh, that's right. I saw a couple of them as well when we got there. That's a relief. At least we'll be able to eat fish if there's no food elsewhere. If we manage to catch them. Those are simple details and nothing else. OR476 smiles slightly. Seeing him smile still sends a chill down my spine. You guys want fish? I actually enjoy fishing, and I find it pretty easy. If you're interested, I'd be more than happy to lend you a paw and give you some tips. There's food in the warehouse, but I'm not sure if they have fish. Wait a second, 933 just changed the subject without us noticing? Well, I honestly prefer this than to talk about the weapons. How can you tell that you're good at fishing? Have you done it before that we got here? Memory loss, scattered memories, muscle memory. I can go on, but I wouldn't be explaining anything. I know. I just have this feeling. I know deep down that I can do it. I see. It's like 933 and all the physics data, and I with the names of the certain places. It happens to you too, huh? Yep. Knowledge acquired and stored, but without clear origin. That's kind of scary. It's quite disturbing, yes. My mind tempts me to start wandering and imagine 100 different scenarios. I better change the subject before that happens. How do we even begin? Do we approach the water armed with spears and begin stabbing blindly until we catch something? That hardly seems like a foolproof plan. Please, It doesn't take much to be able to catch fish. You only need 2 vital things, the rest are shortcuts to get to the same result. The bear raises his arms, displaying his paws and the gloves on them. His movements are fluid and graceful, despite his massive size. Your paws? Yes. I see, yes. I don't quite understand. Are you trying to say that you can catch fish just using your paws? Oh, that. Can you do that? I'm not just speaking randomly. I'm stating it. I am truly convinced of this fact. I am so sure that I might even be willing to make a wager on it. Well, it's good to know that we can count on you. Do you think that it's possible to catch some fish even though the lake is partially frozen? I can give it a shot, but I believe it myself. Amazing! Your help will be more than appreciated. So now we all know that we can get fresh fish at any time we desire. That's great. If we can't find any food in the warehouse, we could plan on doing some fishing together as much as we can. I'm not necessarily starving, but I think that with 8 people, we'll need a decent amount of food. Even if we already have a warehouse full of food, it's always nice to try and catch something fresh. I bet fresh fish tastes amazing, although I never actually tasted it. Really? In that case, I'll try to catch something so that you can taste it. Then we can see what to cook with it. Sorry, I didn't mean to be pushy or anything. I was just saying if it was necessary. It's not a big deal, you don't really have to bother. Nah, that's fine. If you want fresh fish, I can get it. It's no bother, Lion. You can consider it like a gift from me. Oh, well, if you insist. Cool, it's decided. It'll only take a moment. I must prepare myself first. Great. Wait, prepare? Watch me. OR476 cracks his neck and stretches his arms high in the air. What is he doing? Suddenly, without any words, the bear launches himself into a full sequence of stretches and warm-ups. He starts with basic exercises for the neck, arms, and hips, and then increases the difficulty to a couple of sets of push-ups and even a set of sit-ups. AL933 and I exchange glances. He smiles and chuckles, but neither of us know what to say. We end up listening to his words and continue to watch him. Doing so, I can't help but notice how the muscles in his well-worked arms flex with each stretch. Lucien, I wish my arms were like that. I do not mind to see them closer. That was a weird thought. OR476 finishes doing a set of squats and looks at me. He must have noticed the weird expression on my face. Heh, it's always good to stretch before any physical activity. It's too weird. I didn't say anything. I just didn't expect you to do a full workout all of a sudden. Yeah, that was quite a surprising turn of events. Had you given us a heads up, perhaps we could have tagged along? Hehe. I'll keep that in mind for next time. I'm almost done. The bear smiles before getting back to his exercises. He's much more flexible than he seems. With his size, I thought his movements would be much heavier and more clumsy, but the opposite is true. The bear handles his body as if it were a feather. I decide that I've seen enough of his warm-up, and I go back to AL933. Hey, if this fish thing is because of what I said before, I want you to know that you're not obligated to eat it. I was just trying to find a conversation topic that time. It's okay, I wouldn't mind trying it. Maybe it'll become my favorite food. Even if it doesn't work out? Sure, we can go to this warehouse and find something nutritious to eat. Or we can go and find something to help 476. Something like a net. I appreciate the consideration, but with my paws, it's more than enough. OR476 appears behind me, puffing out his chest proudly with a swaggering smile on his now sweaty face. He's really sure that he can do it without any help. Are you done yet? Yeah, I told you it was almost over. I'm ready. Can I join? I'd like to help. It's at least for the inconvenience you're going through for me. Sure, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm the one who will do the heavy work. You just do what I tell you, and you'll catch something for you. Great. I was afraid that if I joined, I'd slow you down. Really, big guy? What? You didn't want me to try the fish? I literally told you just now that you're not obligated to eat it for me. Hey, if you wanted me to know what fish is, It's for a reason. At least you understand that you don't have to do it for me if you don't want to. I don't even like fish, I think. See? You have to find out what it tastes like. It may even be important to help to recover your memory. Okay, do as you please. I hope you know that sometimes you can be very persuasive, or very stubborn, or very annoying. If you're done, I'm going into the water. I have to take advantage that I'm in my full vigor state. Wait, you're just going to get into the... Without another word from us, the bear begins to walk into the direction of the lake, dipping his bare feet into the crystal clear water. But his pace doesn't stop there. He continues. He continues until the water reaches his knees, wetting his pants, making the garments look a darker color than it should. That doesn't seem to matter to 476, who positions himself deeper into the lake without hesitation, his entire lower body now underwater. The bear remains in the water with a huge grin, unfazed by the low temperatures and the pieces of ice in it. On the contrary, his face is more relaxed than ever, I dare say even pleased. Ah, I needed this. It's going to sound cliché for me to say it, but I really needed this cold snap. Shouldn't you have taken your clothes off before you came in? For survival stuff and so? I'm fine like this, don't worry. It's not cold even if it doesn't look like it. I can immediately see why the bear would say such a thing, despite walking into a lake with large chunks of ice floating on it. A dense steam begins to form around the bear's hips, as if his body were a newly forged sword being submerged into cold water. I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is real or another trick of my mind, but before I could process anything, a light mist begins to form around us. Whoa, that warm-up must be super intense. You even generated steam. I'm going to put aside any thoughts about how it could be happening. It's already been confirmed that there is an external factor that we don't know about around this lake. I'm just going to ignore all these strange things for now. Sure, ignore the strange things. Thank you, AL933, for once again helping me know that I am not losing my mind. Oh, look at that. That's strange. I didn't feel so hot before I went in. From what I see, it looks like you're just really hot. What did you say? I mean, hot in the sense that you literally are hot. I better shut up. Okay. OR476 seems puzzled by my words, but not annoyed or displeased. Well, that could be worse. Hey Lion, what are you waiting for? The water isn't cold, I promise. I'm coming! Wait, I'm going to take off my... The Lion doesn't wait for my opinion as he clumsily removes his shirt, leaving only his overalls and exposing his bare, furry chest. I feel awkward not knowing where to look and instinctively turn my gaze towards the lake. Hey mate, can you save this for me? AL933 gives me his black shirt with a huge smile. Sure, no problem. I accept the shirt and put it on my shoulder. It feels a bit sweaty and I can smell his musk on it, thanks to my powerful nose. However, I try to ignore it and focus on the task at paw. Thanks, it won't be long. I promise to catch a huge fish for you. I already told you that. And he's gone. This lion. So that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. So, still don't trust the lion. I want to reserve my judgment about this update until the next video, because spoilers, I already read the whole thing, and I'm just doing this after the fact. But some of my issues that I had with the initial update aren't there, but some of them are still there. Unfortunately, the dialogue is one of them, and I know that I can't be too overly critical with a team that is not a primarily English-speaking team. But you guys really do need to find somebody that will help you edit. And I know that, you need money for that. That's why you have a coffee. I think one of my biggest issues with the whole with this update it's not like the characters or anything like that. It's where sometimes you guys, and I'm speaking directly to the creators, where sometimes the characters go into too long of an explanation. And I know it's needed because, well, you know what's going on, but the characters don't know what's going on, so they have to explain what's going on. But in some cases, you don't really need to go into that detail of an explanation, especially when it sounds a little strange. The conversation, again, I know that this is probably just an issue where what you want to say is not translating well into English. There are sometimes some use of words which are like, yeah, a normal person wouldn't say this, or this word, while it is a synonym of the word that you want to use, doesn't belong here in this sentence, which throws off the whole sentence. Character-wise, still don't like the lion. I kind of feel like he's being forced upon the main character, or he's just hanging around for no reason. I know that he's supposed to be there in order, to help the main character get adjusted to what's going on, etc., but I kind of feel like this is a time where the main character learns about what's going on by themselves, and then learns to either trust or distrust certain characters. It kind of feels like the line is there to reinforce what you want the people reading it to know, but at the same time, it kind of feels a little like, can I please have 5 minutes to myself, please? Can you just walk away over there for real? Like, just for 5 minutes, let me talk to this person by myself. You know? Also, and this is just a nitpick, you might want to add another expression to the line, because sometimes when it looks like he's, where he's thinking or where he's not sure about something, he kind of looks a little bit annoyed. So there's some conversations that the main character has with the polar bear, where the lion isn't really involved. And if you look at the lion's sprite, it kind of looks like, fine, I'll just stand here. You guys have your own little conversation, I'll just stand here. So I think that might be one of the reasons why I don't really like him, because that little stink face that he does, where he's like, fine, you talk to my friend. I'll just stand right here and look incredibly upset about it. So just add another one where he's just, minding his own business, please. I know this sounds like just like nitpicking. Is like, really, is that really your complaint? Like, yes, that face. Like, when I'm reading, I look not just at the text, but also at the character sprites that are being used in order to gauge what's going on. To try to voices and stuff like that. But when I look at the line, he kind of looks like somebody that just latched onto the main character and is not gonna let go of them for the entire story, and that's kind of annoying. Like, dude, it just started. Let me see what I feel about these these other characters, the tiger, the polar bear, the goat, and whatever else. Like, also, I think it's this part or the next part where the mention of the goat, the other person that was nice to the polar bear. Again, I'm doing this after the fact. So there's like a moment where it's like, oh, you, and meaning the lion, and the goat were really nice to me when the polar bear is talking. And the lion makes like a face like, ugh, that guy. It's like, what's your problem, dude? There's other people on this island. The main character is gonna want to meet them. So if you're gonna keep doing that face, you're gonna have to change your attitude right there. But yeah, as for the main character, I wonder if it's the case of like, oh, amnesia. I don't know what's going on. Whatever, where he just acts kind of abrasively to everyone except the lion. I can understand not having any, or not having access to your memories, but like, chill, dude. Anyways, again, that might just be things that are being missed in translation, where in Spanish, or at least when the writers are coming up with this story in their own language, in Espanol, or whatever it is that they speak. Which I'm pretty sure it might be Spanish. That when they translate it to English, they don't know the exact words to use in order to translate the feeling. Because it's one thing to translate the words, it's another thing to translate the feeling accurately. And I think that's one of the things that's being missed. Because again, the feeling that I get from the lion sometimes, and the main character, especially the main character, feels different from what you would normally think that they would be feeling. Like, based on other things that I've read and everything like that, their behavior, their emotions are very disproportionate to what's going on. Again, it might be the writing, or it might be something that gets lost in translation or mixed up in translation, I suppose is a better term. But yeah, enough ranting. So you tell me what you guys think. And thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play our shared lie or keep up to date with it or whatever, you can find it over on Itch, and I can post a direct link to the Twitter page. I think that they have a Twitter page. I might post a direct link to their Telegram account, which is something new that I guess you could also use in order to post updates for visual novels. They're not the first people that have done it. Home Somewhere Else also has a Telegram account where they post about their, updates. And, yeah, I will post that down, as well as their Coffee link, in case you want to support the project. I don't know why they don't have a Patreon, but, Coffee works just as well, because I have a Coffee. So, if you want to support them, give them money through Coffee. If you want to support me, give me money through Coffee. But yeah, anyways, so yeah. So, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.